I'm a researcher. In the last years I worked at Stockholm University on learning technologies, which are basically a family of research subjects that are kind of interdisciplinary between computer science and pedagogy to improve learning. And I must say right now, maybe this word is overused, it's a revolutionary time also for learning. I think learning is being disrupted right now. So this will touch schools, this will touch universities for sure. They're the first ones to catch that wave, and they will have to reinvent themselves because of all this impact of technology and the perfect storm, basically. So I will be very brief and be glad to follow up in discussions with you. But so what I said is that learning is being disrupted by technologies, and I'm speaking about learning and not education because I think the future lies with the learner, the person, and not so much the institution, the ministries, and all this top-down stuff. What we are working on is a bottom-up thing. That's why we are very much philosophically related to open source and all that, because it's exactly that. I worked in the last 5 years at a very big project co-financed by the European Union on the Classroom of the Future, where we worked with thousands of schools all over Europe to introduce, co-develop new technologies to improve the curricula with technology. And we learned a lot, and also from the scientific aspect it's very interesting. There's a huge field called learning analytics where you try to gather specific data about the learning process and try to learn things about it. We have now also another segment called teacher analytics, where we not only analyze students but also teacher. So how does teaching, different teaching methods affect learning from the other side? And we just started some months ago a brand new interdisciplinary platform called Learner Research, where we bring together different disciplines, because we are convinced that this is the way to go. We have to somehow break down these silos between technology on one side, computer science, and pedagogy, education science, and so on. I think that's very important. This was the WELEARNERS project that has thousands of schools that we developed. So we developed a platform. These are images from the Frankfurt Book Fair, where we basically not only work on the technological side, but also on what is called design thinking. So this is a new approach to develop things. It has been developed some years ago at Stanford, and basically we try to apply it to the learning domain. And so, for instance, these are images where we, over the course of 5 days at the book fair in Frankfurt, we had thousands of students coming through, and they could choose their subjects. So we offered different subjects. We had 3D programming with Unity for students that never programmed, and after a few hours they were all very happy. We had the first, these are actually one of the first developer editions of the Oculus Rift. This is 3 years ago, and the students could first develop 3D environments in Unity and then go through it and see. And basically, this is just one aspect. We had infrared measurements, we had video filming, all with using new technology in a kind of fun way for the students, so that they were engaged and not only receiving from a teacher the instructions, but they could themselves do it in a kind of open way. And we measured also the impact, and the learning increases really in a way that is amazing. We also had implemented a network, so we want to bring to the students interesting topics. So for instance, we had a very interesting guy, that is the guy on the left is a very famous oceanographer doing research in the oceans. So we had last year Indonesia as a country of honor, and the students could work on topics related. So marine biology, they used open source tools to analyze seashells and the impact of acidification in oceans. and everyone could choose their subject, so no forcing, and they were doing very great, and this network helps the schools. So if a school wants to do something with water, we had one school that we helped to go from Munich to China. They met in China, they went together with the Trans-Siberian Railway, and we helped them with the tools, with the software apps, for instance, we used OSM Ant so that they could GPS locate their water samples. And this lady, Angela, was one master explorer, as we call, that helped to develop a short book about the water cycle, everything open and so on. So it's a network also. And we developed a lot of partner networks that in a way or another helped us. For instance, Samsung donated us a lot of tablets when we needed them, etc., etc. So it's a growing network. It's basically a network to revolutionize learning. And this is badly needed. And why is it needed? Because we are now in a moment of time when we have to change learning, because basically the learning as it is applied in schools is the same as 200 years ago. In another presentation up here, I had three pictures, one after the other, one from 1940, one from 1970, and one from 2000 schoolrooms, and they almost look the same. Well, there was a beamer somewhere. Okay, that was different. So you can imagine nowadays, with all the change that we are experiencing, you need to change also learning. And so you need to go towards this, what is called the 21st century skills, and they involve critical thinking, creativity, etc. But of course also what I call state-of-the-art technologies, coding. They need to develop a mind for computational thinking. That's actually why I'm here. Because we have found out that we need a tool. We need a new tool, a new hammer. You know, the old tools are not good. Of course, a lot happened. I mean, I don't have to tell you this. And there are wonderful platforms out there and whatever. But what we have seen is that there is a huge fragmentation. And for the teachers to arrive into the schools, it's, let's say, a little bit difficult to really go with last math. So that's what I'm pitching here, an idea that we call Sensorino, okay? And what we want to develop is a low-cost, small-size Internet of Things sensor platform to be used in schools by students and whatever age, you know. We're working from K-12 to whatever, even university. But it has to be state-of-the-art, and it has to be low cost at the same time, and it has to be small size. So over the course of the last months, we did some experiments. We got a company involved that has almost the same name. It's called Sensirion. It's a Swiss company. They are working on state-of-the-art sensors, so sensor components. Maybe some of you know them, and they are behind this idea. But of course, we need more people to go forward. We did some tests. We built a small prototype based on actually a PIC32M processor system on chip, and we put a free RTS stack on it and a Lua stack, and then we use Blockly, and it works already quite nicely. On the right side, well, the pictures turned, you can see I2C data coming out from that small sensor part, which is a Sensirium sensor part. We didn't integrate it yet. So you see the white board. It's an open source, open hardware board that we developed with friends in Barcelona from the City Lab. And there we have the free LTS stack on it, and we get the data. So this is just a proof of concept. But of course, we want to go much further in having a small size, low cost IoT platform. Because with that, I'm sure we could really change how coding is taught in schools. You can imagine having this small size device where you can just plug it in any device, use a web IDE, and then go either by using the Blockly environment, and, you know, reading the sensors, doing stuff, putting the data in the cloud, and then the sensors we imagine to have, that's why I wrote the Volkswagen, because we would like to have as many sensors as we could. So state-of-the-art temperature and humidity, of course, where Sensirion is world leader. But no, they are actually fully calibrated when they leave their fab, and it's I've just been in Zurich where they have their clean rooms. It's fantastic. And the new sensor that will just come out is, for instance, a gas sensor for air quality. So imagine to have that on board, and in the schools be able to monitor, analyze the air quality, and measure volatile organic components, measure formaldehydes or other pollutants. That could be fantastic for the kids to really, experience this in an interdisciplinary way. So connect on one side coding, computer science, with topics like, climate change, etc. They could monitor their energy consumption, make maybe a game where they try to save as much energy and look if the other school is saving more or having the better air in there. It's a huge air quality in classrooms is actually a huge research topic at this topic. So this is the idea for the Sensorino. This is actually why I came here, because you have this fantastic Olimex company here and a huge network. So I was thinking I have to go and see. We have some people already on board, but of course this is just the early steps. So any input and any ideas are greatly welcome. I hope maybe in the discussion today and tomorrow we can go forward. So here you see just a little bit what kind of sensors we imagine. This is the Sensirion part, so you see the humidity sensors, of course, temperature sensors, but also gas meter. You can, one idea that we had at Sensirion is they have a very small differential pressure sensor, so you could imagine even some medical applications for this platform. Now, of course, we will have to see, to make some trade-offs between size, between cost. I would like to have it as much as possible without shields, so that you have one device which could do, 80–90% of the use case, and only in rare cases maybe do some stuff. We tested LoRaWAN, for instance. There we had a shield on it, and it worked great. And then you can think about this new open LoRaWAN gateways in different cities, maybe with the schools. So a lot of interesting things that you could do. Yeah, this is the gas sensor that is coming out now. So it has a broad sensitivity to various gases, CO2 and whatever. This would be really interesting learning, because the students, the more it's interesting, the more they get engaged, and that's the thing that we want to achieve. Yeah, around this we have started to create a platform that we call WELEARNERS. So it's basically the paradigm of the new learning age, connected of course to smart city, as we talked about IoT, but not smart city in the military industrial complex idea of selling, to governments and cities, I don't know what. No, bottom up, so that it's smart citizens. We want to arrive where we have the smart citizens and not the smart cities. And this could be one tool that we will develop to go this direction. Okay, thank you very much.